Hey guys, hope you all are well. So I'm sorry, it's been really long since I made a video. I moved to Toronto like 3 months back from India, and the project I'm working on right now is a bit heavy. So yeah, but actually Toronto feels really great. It's a nice place. I'm really loving it. So getting back to the video, why I'm creating this tutorial for skinning and stuff. So basically, like moving from studio to studio, I've seen not only freshers or juniors, even seniors who are really brilliant at rigging stuff, hate and like aren't able to achieve good skinning results fast. When it comes to specifically for CG characters, actually. So if you are not new to rigging, and yeah, like you probably know most of the basic stuff which I'm going to explain in this video, like the first part of this. And what you should do is you just make the speed of this video 1.25 or 1.5 and just revise the basic stuff. I'm sure like some stuff will be there which you don't know. There are many tricks which are not explained on my help and stuff. Like it's hard to find those tricks until and unless you have worked many years. I learned these tricks from many of my mentors and seniors who have been working in the industry for a long time. So this first video, actually I'm going to explain the basics, what the skinning is, how we can achieve some simple stuff with um, really small tweaks or really small number of steps. So we'll see how we can skin some basic props like a rope or a wood ply, something like that. Okay, so let's get to the video. I have a small list. Okay, so let's start from that. So basically, let's just take some joints. We have like 3 or 4 joints here. We'll take a mesh maybe. Let's take a plane. Something like this. Okay. So first of all, let's discuss these settings. I'll just reset them. Starting from bind to, this is joint hierarchy or selected joint. So basically, when you have a joint hierarchy and you want all of it to belong to a mesh, you select joint hierarchy and do bind. It will bind the whole hierarchy automatically if you just select the parent joint. If I start from 3, do this, then also it will bind the whole hierarchy. So I never use this. I don't like this as well because it can affect, like for example, if you just wanted 4 joints and not these 2, it could cause issues. I just think like using the selected joints options is better. There's also object hierarchy. So basically, other than joint, there are some other nodes as well which you can bind to a mesh or a curve maybe. So if you do that, you can use those things, but I would always say use selected joints. So what if, first of all, when we select it like this and add from selected joints, it will give us the selected joint weights. You see, we have these. Okay, second is bind method. I never changed this to anything else. You can try heat map and geodesic voxel. So this is also a good one. If you understand what voxels are, they're like, if you just search voxel, you'll understand how voxels works. So voxel is a 3D, like, I don't know the exact words, but it's like it calculates volume of substuffs. Okay, if you search a bit so you can understand how it works. So it just calculates the voxels, like the 3D volume of this mesh and stuff, and then add it accordingly. And we have heat map. This is another way. There is some paint heat map or something like that as well. I don't remember. I used to do this a long back, but yeah, I never change all of these settings. I think these are all fine. Classic linear dual quaternion weight blended, so you can blend weights for single joints like 2 times or something like that. Like it won't have 0 to 1 weighting per vertex. This is one. Dual quaternion, I forgot, but yeah, I don't know. I never use it. I'll just tell you the basic stuff. This, I know that these can cause some issues while moving into this thing. Game engines like Unreal or Unity, some stuff like that. So just using the classic linear is better. Then we have normalized waste. I never use this. It's always good to have is interactive. So none, post, and interact, I'll show it to you why we need these or why we use these while we're painting some weights on something. After that, allow multiple bind poses. So basically, if you switch this off, it shouldn't matter much. But for example, I have this, okay, I have this bound here, but what if I need two, three more joints here? Select these and add these weighting to this from skin. Just ignore what I'm doing right now, but I'm just showing what bind pose, how bind pose works. So first let me show you without adding. So this is this. If you select the hierarchy or the first joint as well, just click on this thing, skin, yes, go to bind pose, this one, go to bind pose. So wherever you have bound the mesh from whatever the position it is, it will go to there. But for example, if when you add more joints, it will add one more bind pose here. So skin, add influences, then you have this, then you add, then it actually adds a bind pose, I guess. Per joint there's a bind pose. So if I move it like this and select to bind pose, yeah, it when we selected allow multiple bind poses, it allowed us to use different bind poses. So now bind poses changed, right? Because before these joints were not there, but now we can have multiple bind poses. It will go to all those bind poses. Okay, so back to the skin bind settings. Here we have maximum influences. So these are the maximum influences per vertex. If you just go here, it says specifies the maximum number of weighted influences for the given point. So basically it says that per vertex, how many joints can influence this vertex from 0 to 1. Like you can have 0.5 weight of this joint and the rest 0.5 from other joint, or 0.1, 0.1, 0.1 from all of these, so however you want. Then we have maintain maximum influences. Basically I always keep this one because I would like to have a hard weighting and then use like smooth weights or something like that, just skin it myself. It's easier to clean up from one maximum influence. Then it says maintain maximum influence. This is actually used for games. I think I have never worked in a game or anything, so I'm just assuming, or I've heard or I've read and don't remember. But what happens is, like in some game engines or some stuff, the thing is per vertex you can only have 3 influences, something like that. So when that is the case, you would skin it with just 3 influences, so then it will maintain the maximum influence of that vertex with like that. So basically I would now switch this on right now, because you should switch this off while doing this, because when you I'll show you an example. So for example, let's unbind this for now. For example, I have this maximum influence 1 and maintain maximum is switched on, and if I select this and bound, it will work properly. But for example, if I want to smooth this weight, let's say let's move this. If I want to smooth this weight, it won't work like that, right? You see, started getting an error. Specified weight could not be added due to logged influences. But if you see here, there is no influence logged. The issue is, and you see it went there and just transferred whole weight there to this joint, not smoothing it out. Okay, so you can fix this without unbinding as well. Just go to the skin cluster, and there we have the option of maintain maximum influence. If you switch this off, and now if I go here and smooth, I can smooth this out. Now we have half weight of both, right? So this is what maintenance influences does. This can cause issues sometimes. If you are on 5, you won't notice it at the start, but while halfway scanning you can have issues. So let's just keep this one, remove this. So remove unused influences. To show an example of this, it's a bit trickier, but for example, you have a joint a bit far, okay, and let's keep this one here and this one here. So I'll select all these joints, select this and bind. So when you see it like that, you see I only got like till 4. Why didn't I got 5? Because it was far away, so it automatically removed it, even though I wanted its weight, even though I selected it, but it removed it because it couldn't find, like the automatic system couldn't find any closer vertices to bind. But what if I needed it later? So Keeping this off always works well. So let's say 5, then this, then bind. Even though right now it won't have added any weight to this, but it still is in the skin cluster option. It's good, and it has some good and it has some bad, because when there are plenty of unnecessary joints left in the skin cluster, it makes it heavy. So you can always do this, remove unused influences. So what it will do is it will say, if it will find all the vertices, the weight of all the joints on the vertices, and if one joint doesn't have any influence or weight, it will remove this. Okay, so next is colorize skeleton. Sorry. I'll just get some water. So colorize skeleton, so it's useful, like not that much, but what if I had these joints? So you see, these are all blue and these are this color. This shows me that this joint is bound to something and these are not. If this switch this off, just unbind this. So you see, it has some color, even though it didn't this thing, it didn't bind it because it was already bound, but it did change the color. So I find it a little bit irritating sometimes, but it's fine, because the navy blue one, delete these ones, create these joints again. If I go here, it's a bit hard to see them sometimes when they are on the black side. See, it's so hard to see these joints and find out where they are. But if they are colored, so if they are colored, you can see it's not that hard to see these joints, right? Let's unbind these. Okay, let's delete this as one. And includes hidden selections on creation. I'm not sure what this is, because I've never used this. This option determines if, I think it's new in 2022 or 2023, something like that. If the hidden selections are included in the selection list while performing the bind. Okay. It could be like something which is hidden, and this proves that my English is bad. Sorry, it's not my first language. Performing the bind. Okay. So maybe if there is a, okay, is it like if this is hidden and I have selected these and apply, yeah, it included folds, right? I'm not sure. Okay, let that be. This is also something new, like proximity wrap came in 2021, I think, or 2022 maybe. This is also a good way, but I haven't seen this in production yet. So yeah, let's just delete this. And okay, so first was this bind, skin setting. What's next? Let me see. Skinning a prop. Let's start by skinning a prop. I have a prop right here. Okay, so basically we have this prop. Let's put some joints for this. Let's start with this joint here. Okay. Let's put like how many joints we should put here? Let's say 5 or 8 maybe. So the best way to do this is like just create one joint, duplicate it 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we have 8 joints now. Put this under here, put this under here, put this like this. So now we have a chain of these joints, right? Let's move the first joint where it should start. Okay, and it should be here. I'm just like doing it like that, but basically when you want to do this, always use clusters or anything. I have a script, but it's 2023. My scripts are for 2022, so it won't work properly. So let's select cluster and this, and then this one. Is this working? Okay, it's importing PyML. Okay, this work? Nah, all these scripts are from the fish. No, my scripts aren't working. It's because it's 2023. I just installed Maya like 2-3 days back. It's a new PC. Yeah. Okay. So basically, if we have these here, let's select all these together. Okay, and start it like this, maybe right here, and select these, move them forward, rotate a bit. Okay, so this one needs to be increase the size of this by pressing plus, so you can micro adjust this a bit easier. Okay, actually gonna move this a little bit down, maybe here. Yes. Almost there, I think. Just all of these needs to be in the middle, right? Okay, switch this off. This looks kind of fit in the middle. Okay, you can also use a curve, maybe. That's also not a bad idea, but almost the middle. Okay, awesome. Now select all these and freeze transform. Just say freeze transform. I did. Let's orient the joints. So I usually prefer this only X by Y, and this looks like it's fine. Just make this one, the last one, 0. So now we have this. Okay, so to basically skin this, so let's skin that first, these ones first. I just use the shortcut from here, and just one joint is fine for this. Or maybe let's use 2. We can stretch this, right? I'm not rigging here actually. I'm just gonna show skinning. If we see, we have like this. I'll show you how to stretch this properly. Let's start with this, then we'll go to the rope. Okay. Cylinder on this joint. Let's hide these for now. Hide this for now. Let's start with this. For example, if I want to stretch this linearly and don't I need the volume to be as is. Let's create a plane, or you can use interactive creation. Let's go to front view, create a plane from here to here. Yep, and plane is fine. Yep, it's fine. So now add the same joints here, bind skin. So we have the same joints in here and in there. Okay, and then on the second one, let's add full weight top. So now basically, if we just select this mesh and this mesh, and then go to skin, copy skin weights. The settings which I usually use are label and 1-to-1. If we see, the weight is perfectly linear. Okay, so now sorry, if I do this, you see this maintains the volume. This also, if you just move it here, it will say straight. See how straight it is, isn't losing the volume, and If you wanna like keep the base a bit more sturdy, let's just add a little bit more weight here. Keep the base sturdy. Same with here. It's already fine. Then let's just go to the bind pose. So that's how you maintain the volume on things like this. So I don't like how it's looking right here, right? But anyways, it has a low number of mesh, but still, if you wanna add a bit more weight here, just go to add. So I should actually explain these as well, but we'll do this with some better example. I'll just add a little bit of weight here. So you see, when I'm doing this, it's actually like my linearity is going here. So basically, to make it smoother, what I'll do is I'll add a little bit weight, increase, shift, and what's this called? This one, greater than sign. So it increases my selection. So if you are in paint, it will increase bit more, like double. See, shift plus, it increased 2 of the edges, right? But we just want to increase 1. So if we just go 1, and I think this is way too much. Let's reduce the weight a little bit. Then go to vertex mode and then increase again. So we're increasing the weight linearly. It won't look bad, okay? That's how we can maintain the volume and still keep the linearity. I don't even think linearity is a word, but like linear deformation, okay? Okay, so this is done. We can actually mirror the weights from this to that easily. I think so. I would like to believe so. Or I'll tell you a trick. Okay, choose command instead of. Okay, it's lower because of Mac. I think this is the same as this. This one, yeah, kind of same. Yeah, probably we can mirror it. So like this and this. Mirror settings, skin. We have mirror weights, skin weights. So right now it's negative to positive. So let's just do this, and we are mirroring in X and Y. So no, we are actually mirroring in, is it? Yeah, X and Y. Let's see if it even worked. Sorry. Oh man, so bad in this right now. Kinda did, but still not good enough, right? So let's do one thing. We'll select this mesh, group it, scale -1, select this, actually move it a bit here. Yep, kinda match it. Now select this mesh, then select this mesh, then just copy, and with copy, closest point on the surface is fine. Let's do scale -1 at it and just do 1, and for this thing just put 0. Just pull it out, delete the group back. I usually do all this stuff with proxies, create final this thing, skinning from proxy, and then copy to the original. So because what happens is the mesh is referenced and we cannot duplicate and do this stuff, right? So basically just duplicate the mesh, do all the skinning, copy to the original, delete the duplicates, and then export or whatever, however your pipeline is. So let's see here. You see, we have gotten the same weighting with the joints which you already had. Krishna. So basically the same skinning. Okay, now there are 2 types of skin bind things which usually people don't know because I have never seen them mentioned anywhere. We have these joints, right? And we have this mesh, this one, yeah. So if I select all these joints and okay, let's do one thing. Let's select hierarchy. I want to create some controls on this, but I don't remember where I have the script. Wait, let me get the script. So G, yeah, funny.g. Not my script. I don't even remember where I got it. Okay. What it does is float. Okay. Sorry. Too fond of Linux and always do that. 1 second. Done. Let's rotate these controllers from between. Rotate object center. Awesome. See how well the controllers are. Okay, cool. Now we can actually zero these out, right? I did a float, but I actually wanted these controls to be separate. But that's okay. Let's just, or what I'll do is, select by name, control group star. Okay, position group. Sorry, instead of 4 star shift P. So now we have all these controls separately, right? I'll just duplicate this joint chain to show you how differently these things work, right? And let's just unparent these. This kind of maybe looking like this maybe is looking like it's a bit complicated, but what I'm trying to say, you'll understand this in a minute. So I have this joint chain. Okay, let me just skin bind this joint chain with this thing. Let's select the hierarchy, then the mesh, so bind skin. Okay, let's go in paint weight and see how we have. So if you see, each joint weight is divided until the next joint's middle, right? If you see, so for example, if I have this joint, this joint maybe don't have any weight, right? If I have this weight, it has this, it gives us a weight like this, right? But what we actually wanted was to, I'll show you now. So the difference between like skin binding a mesh when the joints are in hierarchy and when the joints are separate. I'll show you the difference now. Let's duplicate this mesh, select all these joints. Here's one joint missing. Kinda need one more joint. Okay, it's here. Let's move this here. These are the joints. This is the new mesh. Shift I. Okay, let's select these joints and now bind these. I'll just move these joints, or just this one up here. A little remove maybe. Okay. So now we have two. Unhide this. You see how this one works, right? And now see how this one works. It may be hard because I have like one maximum influence, but it's from the middle. It's spreading its weight both sides, right? And when we have a hierarchy, it spreads its weight just forward or to the child joint, right? So if I have this joint, it's spreading its weight until here, but not back, right? How it should be, how we want it. Not it should be, it's right how it is. It's just how we want it. We want the weight to the front and the back, right? So for example, now we have this, right? Without using any tools or anything, just using the vanilla Maya options, let's skin this properly. So now you got how, by like unparenting the joints or keeping the joints separate is required in some cases to bind properly. If you have this bind and you want to get this kind of weighting, that's gonna be an issue or like a bit tricky, right? Hey guys, sorry, my Maya and my PC crashed, something happened, so I had to recreate all these. And let's start skinning this. I'll show you a trick in so how we can do this easily. So basically when we use these joints and skin it like this, maybe even if we do 5, won't matter because it has weighting like this, right? Which isn't what we want. We want a smooth weighting, right? So basically I'll just unwind this. Sorry. So what I've done is I've created a proxy for this. What's proxy? So proxy is just a plain mesh with the joints at the right place where they should be, and this joint doesn't look like it's on the right place. Okay, okay, now it's on the right place. Yeah, so basically this is this proxy mesh which I've created, which we are going to use a lot in doing skirt, clothes and props and whatnot, like how we did for this one, right? I don't have that right now because my file crashed, but yeah, as we saw previously in this video, we're gonna use the same way. So basically if I just select this and add this, wait, you can see we have a hard weighting here, right? So now if we copy this to this, we can just copy like this as well. Like one way is to select this and bind skin. I'll go to my original settings. Now we have this weighting which we obviously don't want, and select this and this, copy skin weights, label 1 to 1. Now we have this hard weighting with proper volume. Okay, so after doing this, we're going to use a tool called ng. So basically we can skin this with hand, but in the industry I really don't think anyone ever now these days they don't use the normal Maya tools or anything like that. The easiest and the best way to do this is by using the ng skin tools. Okay, so because I am using Maya 2023, I don't have the access to the older ng skin tools which had a very nice feature called relax, but now it has something else. So I never use the layers for this. It's amazing. I've seen my friends use that, but I usually like to do it just like this. So I'll just initialize the layer. Let me show this to you again. I'm just deleting all these. So basically select the mesh, select the vertices that you want to work on, or just the mesh, then initialize the skinning layers. So basically we want to smooth everything but these vertices, because we want to keep these always stick to the last point. So we don't want that we stretch this and these last vertices are staying smoothened or like staying away from this joint, right? Which usually people do. So which is actually wrong. It should always stick to the last point, right? So when we'll select it like this, initialize the layers, and just on the paste weights, go here on the set weights, smooth. We can increase this a little bit, like 3.300 is fine. And iteration should be, maybe there is a way to reset this. There isn't. Okay, but I have changed this. It's not 5 by default, it's 3 or something. But if we just take 5 and on something like that and click apply like 15-20 times, it's getting smoother, right? And it's still it's still having that volume which it has, right? So if I keep doing this, it has smoothened all these weights, which we can see here. If I move it like this has a good volume and is smoothened. We can fix the volume as well. We can make it little bit more. It will keep its dimension after we do the other thing. But yeah, this is also a very good way, and this is how we should do skinning for these ropes and stuff these days, right? So yeah, basically the next thing is to go here in ng skin tools and tools, delete all custom nodes. So what it does is it deletes all the ng skin tool custom nodes, and now it's just default Maya nodes with Maya skinning whatnot. It's fourth. And I always use the spoon weights with, if you reset this and then add 1 0 and apply. So it deletes all the extra influence which is going way too far. It's very 0.00 influence. Okay, now as you can see we have what we needed, but we don't have the volume. So it's a bit too much mesh to like do what I'm doing right now, but when we're doing it, it's fine, right? So the easier way is to do this. Just go here. I'm just gonna do this, key this controller so we can see how it's looking. Actually, yeah, key it like this. So now we can go here and check, right? I'm gonna do this thing, this fixing this volume on the default mesh and not the moved mesh, because sometimes it creates an issue, right? And also on the first joint, select this and add full weight, and sometimes ruins that, even though we didn't select the vertex like that, but still it ruins that. So we can just add full weight on the sides. That way it always keeps the last one here. See, we need to keep it like that. And now it's there. Let's select this, and in Angie's tools only there is, where did the unify weights go? I think they removed the unify weights in the latest this thing. Okay, we have this here. So if we go here, open that and then unify weights, it's gonna unify. So I'm just gonna press this key, the right arrow key, and keep unifying the weights. Okay, so basically you see when it was up, like when the mesh was moved, the right key didn't move properly. So now if I just go here, select it like this and unify weights, keep going like this, so I'll know that right weights have been selected. See, right now something happened. Yep, let's go back. This happens sometimes because the right key in Maya doesn't work properly sometimes. Again, we have to do this for all these edges because we want to unify these ways. What unify does is, like, it has some intensity as well, but basically it's like doing this. So what was the last vertex we selected? This one, right? So what it does, it copies the weight from this. So if you go to skin and copy vertex weights and then select all of this and paste vertex weight, it's kind of the same thing. It just takes all the weight from these vertices and then average them and put the same weight on all the selected ones. But what we are doing is we're taking just one weight and copying it to all the others. Sorry, copy weight, paste weight. Instead of doing this, I would always suggest use unify weights. It's really nice. Doing it for the full rope is a bit frustrating, but it does give a good effect. Always keeps the volume. As you can see, wherever we did it, it kept the volume. So yeah, that's how we can easily skin a small prop, something like that, with a good skinning. Animators can easily adjust this to shape however they want. If the tangents are right, it always keeps the volume work just well. See? So yeah, basically that's how we can skin a rope. Okay, let me just put these to 0. Awesome. Okay guys, so that was a good way. I'll show you one another way. That is actually the how I rig these kinds of stuff. It's really helpful and easy. So basically, my friend Vishal Nagpal, you can add him on your LinkedIn. He has done some great scripts in the last couple of years. So he's a creature TD at, I think, DNEG right now. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's in DNEG right now. We worked at Eccentrics and FPC together. Kinda. We were together in Eccentrics, but I moved somewhere else when he came to MPC. So yeah, I'll show you a script which he has created to do all this stuff. Okay, so basically we need a curve for this. Let's create a curve. I just pressed V and snapping the CVs on the joints. So unselected objects, we have this curve and each CVs on each joint. I'll just remove these extra CVs, we don't need them. So now basically just skin this to this. Now we have a proper curve which has smooth weight, right? Now let's select this curve, then this mesh, and he has this tool VN, Magic Deform. It's funny. So I have this curve and this mesh, sorry, new to Mac, then curve to skin. Basically it's going to transfer the skin from the curve to mesh, and that will be really smooth. That will have that smooth deformation from one joint to the other, and it's all based on maths, so it's going to be same for each of these joints, right? If you see, we have the full deformation, we have all that volume what we wanted. So you can use this. I'll add this in my in the description of this video. I'll add the link for NG as well in the video. You can freely download this for educational purposes. So yeah, that's one. Okay. Okay guys, I'm gonna save this file and add this file to this thing as well. So next is rigging a donut. I was thinking like using a donut or like a torus to show you how we can make it a bit, yeah. And we probably need a bit more, not radius, yeah, 50 will do, I think. This looks nice, and we're gonna probably use similar type of approach for this as well. I'm just showing this because a friend of mine had to skin this recently. I just want to show how easy it is to skin this kind of thing with proper volume and a good deformation, right? So first of all, I want to place a circle which has 8 sections because we want to create 8 joints here in the middle of this. So if you want to find the middle, just select any edge, and I'll add the script for this as well. But this isn't working in Maya 2023, that's hard. Okay, so this is the edge loop where we need to, how much we need to scale this. Yeah. What the? Okay, now this is in the middle of this curve, right? We don't need this. Now let's select all these. Let's see this script is working for that or not. Yep, it is working. So now it has created 8 joints at those places. And if you wanna like orient these properly, I'll show you a trick for that as well. Let me switch on the LRA. Right now they are all on world orientation, but if I just duplicate this curve once more, scale this, maybe this much, that would do. Select all the vertices, create one more set of joints. Where is that? One more set of joints, parent each of them under the parent of that. So now one is left. Okay, this one. So now if I select this, go to orient, just basically the default settings. Press the right arrow on G. Yep, looks like it's fine. When you move these go away. When you move them, they come close and merge at one point. That's how we wanted this. We can delete the extra joints and the extra curve as well. Second thing would be to skin these joints to this curve. Actually, I'm gonna move these. Actually, don't need to move them. The vertex placement is just fine. Select this, just add simple skinning. Looks like it's fine. Select this, and where is that script? VN. It's opening. It's opening. Okay, this and this. Curve to skin. Calculating. Okay, now let's see. Okay, we have a good. Sorry, I have this app, not this one. Which one is it? This one. So it tells me to like take a break after every 40 minutes, look away, whatnot, which is good. So as you can see, we can even scale these like that, which is good. Yeah, I suppose it can't go in because basically the joint placement is not that right. When I did that, I just kept this thing. So let me show you what I did wrong here. What's the scale on this? So when I did this, I scaled it like this, but I forgot that that's not how the curve works. I needed to keep the CVs at the middle of this, okay? And when we keep the CVs in the middle, then it's gonna create the joints at the proper position. Let's do this again. It's not a big thing. Select this, go to CUI, joints at each. Select the joints, select circle, add skin, select this, and curve to skin. Even though they have lost their orientation now, but they will have the volume. You see, the volume is now maintained. It's not like has less volume on one side and more volume on the other. So yeah, okay. Let's delete all this. What's next? Let's see. We have done this. Standing component to check coverage. We have done this as well. One other thing. I deleted everything and I think, okay, let's go back. Yeah. So the other thing is like always know, like sometimes what happens is you skin these joints with a curve, but How you can check that is that it has proper deformation is by using the component editor. So to check what's the weight on this, we'll use component editor, which is here actually, but you can go here, generators, component editor. Okay, go to smooth skins, and as you can see we have this one. We can reduce this if you want, but we don't want to. We will check all these CVs that they all have full weight. Sometimes what happens is you need to divide a weight between two, right? For example, if I didn't had the fish, this should have 0.5 weight of this and this, right? So this joint is CV1 and this joint is CV3. So now if I go here and hide 0 columns, I'll remove that, select this vertex, and the joints which we need is 1 and 3, right? So for this we'll add 1.5, and we can actually hold this up, like we'll have this width, and we can have 0.5 in the third. So when we move this is moving the half of it and this is moving the half of it, right? That's how we can do this. Let's delete all these and let's skin this with like that. Unbind this for once. So for example, this joint should have 0.5 weight of third and first, or let's say north, south, east. Actually this is west. Oh no, east, this is west. So select this. We would have to open this again, get the change names. So this would have north, and which one is this? East. I'm so confused. North should be 0.5, east should be 0.5. Similarly, north should be 0.5 and west should be 0.5. Here, west and south should have cool. Here, east should be 0.5. This is useful sometimes, but yeah. So now we have a good weighting for these, just these 4. You can use this now like this. Okay, this has volume now. This can be jiggled. Cool. So component editor is done. Then we have remove unused influences. For example, I have an extra joint here. I have these 3 extra joints which I bound, and then I felt like I don't need to use them. Okay, so first I'll tell you how to add these joints in this, if I have not told already. So to add new joints in this, for example, I need these joints to have some influence here, right? I'll select these joints, select the mesh, then skin, then we have added influence. So we'll go to add influence. So always use weight locking so it doesn't ruin the weight which you already have. Or if you want to use the default weights in Maya and you are a psycho, so you can do that as well. So we're just gonna select these joints in this mesh and lock the weight to 0. We don't want any weight on them by default, right? So now if I go here, I have this joint and I can skin this like that. So now I have some weighting here, right? From here. Sorry, I have this problem. Yeah, so we can add weight like that, and if you want to remove, just scale this. And if you want to remove these, there are 2 ways. You can just go in paint mode from here, then right click, then remove unused influences. It will remove every influence which doesn't have a weighting, right? The other way is you can select this mesh, select this, and remove influence. It will remove the influence and add it wherever it can. Divide it accordingly. Yeah, I don't like this. Okay, so the next thing is remove influence and add influence. I've already told. One really important thing is prune weights. It removes all the unnecessary very small weights which we don't want. We can make it to one as well, but what we need is let's just reset this, and I always add a zero here. So we, by this tool, we can remove all the small weights, which always makes us clear which joints are influencing how much. Because if you are like this, you don't even see this weight, the very small one. But if you have using ramp like me, and like, you need to understand how much your weighting is and where it is going. For example, in a character, you don't want the finger weighting to go to the arm or the body or whatnot, right? So basically for that, we'll always use this. And it's good to keep doing this because it's always good to have proper weights without influencing other parts of the body or whatever. So yeah, next is, let's see what's next. Delete all this. Okay, adding new joints, I'll explain prune weights and my hammer skin weight's a good one. I don't know why I keep deleting this. Do we have weight? We have weight. So for example, there is this vertex which has a weight of which doesn't have proper weight, which is coming like this. So what you can do is you can just select the vertex, or for example, there are 2-3 vertices which are behaving like this, which I'm pretty sure every rigger has seen one or the other time. Sometimes the exporter or importers create these issues or whatnot. So we can use hammer skin weights, which you can find here. Skin, hammer skin weight. What it does, it takes all the 3 or 4 vertices around it. It averages the weight from them and just clicks on this, right? And we'll do the same for this as well, especially, and it gives us proper weight which should have. So I think this vertex also doesn't have good weighting, so we'll just hammer this out. But hammer can cause issues, so beware, don't use it too much. It's just for fixing 2-3 vertices. People use it to like fix a full this thing, but I've never used it for these things. I'll just use ng for this kind of stuff. If I just do this and go to ng, initialize skin layer, just set weights, smoothen it out a little bit. If you want use less smoothness, then reduce the iterations or reduce this to smooths a little but also fixes all the issues. For example, let me show you. If I have this, right, this is kind of big one, let me reduce it to a small amount, 3-4 of these, right? Then let's select these. Now if I do this, it's actually gonna solve it. Actually it isn't, because first we need to delete. We cannot use 2 places to skin at once. Like we are doing this and then we are going to ng skin tools and skinning here. So we need to delete all the custom nodes and keep the default skinning whatever it has. Then select the vertices. Like just use one tool at a time, either the skinning one or the ng one. It was not like this before. I am really used to the 1.8 versions which had other tools as well, like relax and prune separately from this, and the prune worked on the Maya default skinning, but now we have to initialize skinning layer here. So now if we smooth this with a little bit of effort, if you see, we have fixed that one vertices and it didn't cause too much of the issues. So yeah, that's one way.